r/AskReddit, what scares the shit out of you as an adult? After watching my grandmother and now my mother go through it. Alzheimer's. Watching my parents grow old. I don't live with them, so every time I see them, they look a bit older. Coupled with health issues, and they're not the invincible pillars of strength I used to view them as. It scares the shit out of me. Getting older. This shit suddenly started going really fast, like my mom always warned me about. Being unable to provide for the people who are counting on me. Serious illness, cancer, heart disease, etc. The prospect of outliving any of my children. My kid is just 2 years shy of being 18. When I turned 18 I got a job, could afford an apartment and groceries. Was able to start my life with modest means. This is an impossibility for her in today's economy. I'm scared for her. Dementia. You become a shell. A hollowed out human. Dementia is living death. My uncle's 82 and my dad's 77. Have to face facts that I have fewer years left to enjoy spending time with my family than I'd like. Having a stroke or some sort of aneurysm that leaves me alive but physically closed off and unable to speak or function. Inflation. The housing crisis. Poverty after retirement. Ending up with an illness like ALS, and being prevented from ending it myself. The thought of getting older. Not just aging and loss of health/independence, but the financial aspect. I'm never going to be able to afford to buy a home or retire. My retirement plan is pretty much to just walk into the forest and let nature claim me. Living my last days alone. Time passing by. If this is the only chance I have in life to live it, how lousy is this life of mine? Feeling lonely, stuck, hopeless. Loss of financial stability. How easily people can be manipulated through propaganda. We live in a day and age where facts and the truth can be easily found, but people choose not to look, or dismiss it altogether. How many of you have friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, people who you respected or looked up to, start regurgitating the most horrible nonsense? People who used to be moderate, sensible people. Now they foam at the mouth about things that aren't real or are so disassociated from the truth that you can't even engage with them. It's terrifying seeing memes, fake stories, and word of mouth convince people you admire to throw away all their morals and critical thinking skills at the chance they may somehow benefit from supporting someone as depraved as they are dangerous. To watch settled science completely undone because of few taking heads at politicians tell you to question it. People are dying, the planet is in danger, authoritarianism is on the rise, and a terrifying amount of the public refuse to believe it's even happening. Dentist price list. Running out of money before I die. Fascism. In my 50s. I fear losing my mental faculties as I age and being a burden to those around me. My father had dementia and his final years weren't great. We took care of him the best we could, but it wasn't easy. Bears. Being a vegetable, I'd rather die. The future. Dying alone. Not even so much the actual act of passing away by myself, but more so living out the end of my years without companionship or someone to grow old with. Going to the ER. It's not like a routine visit. It's a crapshoot on if it's covered. Scary, scary times. Morons in cars. Not making it home for my kids, toddlers. The idea of them growing up and I'm not even a memory to them. Just a photo of someone holding them when they were small. Them never knowing how much I love them or how much they mean to me. Literally keeps me awake at night. Especially when traveling for work. Some people's blatant disregard for others. The end. Not death. Death is not the end. I don't believe consciousness can truly die, ever. How can it die? Utter darkness. Do we all just cease to exist when we die? I don't think so. But, then, what is the end? I fear the lives of my grandchildren will not be as free, happy, and safe as my own life has been. The economy. The degradation of our planet, resource depletion, microplastics, contamination, and warming amongst many. I am fortunate to have lived in a free democracy all my life. I'm facing the prospect of that being taken away from me, because a critical mass of Americans support and celebrate an indicted demagogue who threw a tantrum when he lost an election, to the point that he tried to interfere with the orderly transfer of power that has been a fixture of this country for nearly 250 years. And he almost had enough support to succeed. I can't fathom being a Russian or an Iranian and having to deal with this totalitarian garbage daily. It scares the crap out of me that a large percentage of Americans have no problem with it. Everything involving my kids. I have 2 new adult sons, so I'm worried about how they'll manage to support themselves in this economy. One just joined the military, so I worry about him and dangerous situations he could find himself in. I also have a preteen, so that's another barrel of worries as she gets older, and she's a girl. Weary face. Looks around, waves arms wildly. Losing my mobility. Being homeless. Being murdered. Literally everything. Health problems. The police, even though I've done nothing illegal. Another Trump presidency which would turn into a dictatorship. Losing my wife. I am so fucked if she ever dies. The state of politics in the US, the strong likelihood that WW3 will break out at any moment. That life seems to only get more complicated the older I get. I'm 22 now, and this happened when I was 15, but the thought of my mom attempting to take her own life again and being the one to find her a second time. That is a pain that I wish no one has to ever experience, and if you have, I'm sorry. I'm just, really scared of losing my mom. I don't know what I'd do without her. Half of my family died in their 30s. I'm in my 30s now. Pregnancy. The idea of something growing inside me just to rip its way out after 9 months is giving me nightmares. I'm at that age where everyone around me popping babies left and right, and I'm running out of excuses of why I don't want to see their belly. My own future and the fact that I'm responsible for it. Poverty, depression. Politics and politicians. Just a bunch of narcissists and megalomaniacs pretending they're helping anyone. The steady rise of fascism all over the world. Freely elected democratic governments are disappearing. We fought a devastating World War twice over this shit, and here we are again. https://thehill.com/opinion/whitehouse/3849326 We're reaching fascism's inflection point again. My kids dying before me, but more specifically sending my 2-year-old daughter to school eventually. Just because of mass shootings. Yes, I've heard all the statistics. You're more likely to die in a car accident while getting your dick sucked by your intern or die swimming than you are to be a first-hand witness/victim of a mass shooting, but the fact of the matter is it is completely random. Not everyone shows the signs by posting on the internet. Sometimes it just happens, and my wife and I have seriously considered homeschooling because of it. But we also know that homeschooling can come with its own repercussions as far as social interacting, etc. It's a shitty double-edged sword. Climate change. The world is in crisis. I am so glad I'm not young. Careening off a bridge into a river while driving at night in the rain. Also, my house catching fire while I am not home and my dogs dying in it. Oh. And surgical paralysis where the anesthesia wears off, you wake up, but you can't move or communicate that you're awake. I live in the US. As an adult, I am scared of people's selfish ignorance. Our country is plagued with corrupt law enforcement and racism and homophobia and gun violence and mentally ill people forced to live in the streets with no support and not being able to retire and be financially comfortable. Also struggling financially until then. The cancer. It took my mom in 2018 at 53 years old. My dad is 63 and is going through chemo and radiation. I found a lump in my breast a few months ago and was absolutely shitting bricks until I had it checked out. The world my kids will have to deal with. My daughter is queer and my son is slightly on the spectrum. I fear they'll be treated unfairly, taken advantage of, or assaulted. Both of my kids are kind and really try to see the good in people. Even though most people aren't inherently good. I know I can't shield them from everything. I just hope they survive this world unscathed. The war. I'm Russian. Losing my wife. Fascism. The fact that a nuclear holocaust can be upon us 30 minutes from now because some crazy leader decides to start WW3. Unprovoked knife attack. Donald Trump getting back in WH. I'm about to be 55, my wife of 11 years told me she doesn't love me and wants a divorce. I'm not trying to be funny or a smart ass. This is the most scared I've been my entire life. I have no hope or joy or future goals. I'm lost. Sharks with lasers. Ending up alone in a bad nursing home. Spiders. Honestly contacting an incurable disease. I truly want to off myself. Water leakage. Cancer. Dementia. Alzheimer. Heart disease. The ignorance, combined with intolerance, of humans. It's terrifying how people can harbor so much hatred for a population of people, or any random person, while said population or person is just simply living their lives and not harming anyone. How my special needs daughter will live her life after I'm gone. Watching my parents get old and eventually losing them. I'm not prepared in any way for that. Not finding the one. Falling ill. Outliving my loved ones. Rabies, for obvious and terrifying reasons, and being alone. At 34 I'm about to be both single and living alone for the first time since moving out of my parents at 18. I know I can support myself financially and can handle responsibilities just fine. I just don't want to. I love having someone to go home to and share my life and thoughts with. When she moves out I'll truly be facing one of my biggest fears. Two things. Death, the fact that one day, no matter how healthy I am, how good of a person I am, no matter what, I will die one day. I will cease to exist, just simply not be one day. All of my memories gone, all of my dreams, sorrows, life. Simply gone. My dad dying, lost my mom to a very rare fungal meningitis when I was 19 and the thought of my dad being gone as well is horrible. I know it will break me. That there is no safety net. If I don't stay on top of everything in my life, it will fall apart. My home, my job, my wife, and child, everything could be taken from me or ruined if I slack off or make a big mistake. School shootings. I fear for my kids every day. Taxes. Inflation, our crumbling social skills as a society, and the rapid uptick in natural disasters. Everybody here giving serious answers while I'm just like. Lightning. I'm still very much terrified of lightning LMAO. I'm 18, so barely an adult, but I'd say turning off the light downstairs and then going upstairs. No matter how much I know there is absolutely nothing there and no one that would want me, I always get a feeling that a ghost lizard skeleton zombie monster is chasing me. Unaccountable bureaucrats having power over my fate. The United States healthcare system. My child's future. Currently about 5 or 6 months pregnant, and with how things are, I'm scared for their ability to be able to actually live a life. And that I'll outlive my child. Plus, parents/grandparents are getting older, so I'm scared for when their time comes. But one thing I'm glad about is my kid should still be able to meet their grandparents and great-grandparents, well, great-grandparents on one side, but still becoming dependent on anyone because I am failing to thrive. I have no children. I still work full-time. I have no savings and no end-of-life plan set up. If I fail in my mental and/or physical health, I am completely fucked. I am 67, with no way to retire in today's economy. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.